Alright guys, welcome to the video, welcome to the channel. Today we have a little bit of that, a little bit of this as promised, cutting up a little bit of wood, and my absolute favorite drone flight yet. So stay tuned to the end of the video for that. Let's get into it. Alright guys, so we're back at the end of the road. If you want to see what happened at the beginning of the road, check out the previous video. That'll help you get caught up to speed, but we'll try to get you caught up to speed a little bit real quick here. We got the drone up in the air. That skid steer belongs to Dirt Perfect. It's a Kubota SVL 90-2. You see some brush pile there at the bottom of the screen that didn't quite burn all the way. We're going to get that cleaned up. This is eventually going to be the loop at the end of the road, and what we're putting back here is a towboat-shaped cabin. Just going to try to get all this mess cleaned up. You can see all the ruts left behind from the D4G when we had that out here. A few piles of dirt we want to get rearranged. Some trees are on the ground we want to get rearranged. Just some general cleaning to get us a step closer to putting base rock down so we can have an actual road back here accessing the job site. Pretty excited to be out here in the woods working. I do want to address one question real quick. A few people have asked how come I haven't been working with Dirt Perfect recently. Mike and I are just trying to figure out the safest way to do that. With my main career, which most of you guys know what that career is, but just in case you don't, I'm a career fireman, so we're just trying to figure out the safest way that I can keep working for Mike but not put anybody at risk. I think we've got some logistics figured out, so it won't be long. We'll be back in Mike's trucks pretty soon, hopefully. So, first thing we're going to do, that is the four-wheeler trail that goes back around to the backside of the barn, and I wanted to finish that connection. I was trying it the other day with the John Deere 755, ran out of fuel, and thought it'd just be easier with the skid steer anywho. So we got that knocked out real quick, and then we're just on to cleaning stuff up. So right here is a prime example of why I just can't stand wearing earbuds whenever I'm operating equipment, unless it's obnoxiously loud just for hearing protection. But in a skid steer or like the 120, I like listening to what the machine's telling me, and right there the machine told me that the track is on the idler getting ready to come off. Probably I'll do something about it. A little bit of investigation, we get it back on, no problem. You should be able to hear that on the audio fairly decent. So down here at the very end of the corner is where the towboat rental cabin, what we're calling the YouTube yacht, is actually going to go. Now the bottom side of this road that's going to loop. So when we do this, the stern of this towboat, which is a weird thing to say, is going to be a basement. Part of it will be a basement, so it will be dug into the hillside. And the dirt that comes out of that, I'm going to use to raise up that lower level of the loop. So we aren't actually going to complete the loop just yet because I need dirt from the basement dig to do that. However, what we are going to do is go down here and attempt to push some more of this brush off, and that is where things get a little bit dicey. So this is when I thought, man, that was a little bit slimier than I thought it was going to be. But I wasn't too concerned. I figured if I kept the butt end pointed uphill, I could just paddle my way out. But old gravity had some different plans for me. Yeah, old gravity just kind of spun me around. So that's the direction we're going to end up facing now. When I said I was a little bit stuck in the last video, this is what I meant. And I think it fits the bill of a little bit stuck. I'm not buried. I'm not sunk up to the belly pan. I'm not having to dig myself out with the shovel. I'm just spinning on leaves, which is pretty frustrating, to be honest. It's a pretty silly way to be stuck. We're going to get out and check and make sure we're not up against any stumps, up against anything that's going to throw the tracks or cause any damage to the machine. And then we're just going to do the good old-fashioned wiggle and see if we can get ourselves out of this mess. Sorry about that. Got hung up on some leaves. Oh, skid steers. That's as good as we're going to get it with the skid steer for now. We're going to come around, polish this up a little bit. Eventually, we'll bring a dozer in and push all this crap off for the road, but I'm not going to do it at the skid steer. I'm thinking about trying to move that big rock for a bench for a, you know, around a fire pit, and then we're going to take the forks, cut this stuff off. You know what? With the skid steer, I'm just going to smooth it out a little bit so it doesn't hold water as much. We will, we'll bring a dozer in one day and get all this topsoil off, because that road is going to loop around this way. But think I want to mess with it with the skid steer. Given the luck that we're having today, we'll just try to clean it up so it doesn't hold water. Then we'll move on from there. We did decide to save some of these logs for some firewood. We don't use firewood at the house, but we are definitely going to be having some campouts and some campfires and cookouts and that kind of thing out here. So might as well save a few of them. And then we're going to be on the hunt for the perfect bench. And I think we might just pass the perfect candidate back there on the left. All right, so pretty happy with the progress we made on this today. It was about 2 hours time with the skid steer, and overall, I think it's pretty good. You can see the four-wheeler trail right there darting off. I feel like the rest of this we can polish up with the 755 and the pulverizer. I did take the 755 and pulverizer up and down the main road the other day just to see how it was going to turn out if I use the pulverizer to fill in some of the smaller stuff, and it worked really well. So as soon as we get the tire fixed on that 755, a little bit of a spoiler alert for upcoming video, we'll get back on that. You can see we got some logs stacked up there for some campfires. You know we're going to have some of those out here for sure. You can see what's left of the burn pile there. We got pushed off. You can see we got some topsoil stockpiled up there for future use. I mentioned this is going to be a loop. We're not doing the loop yet because, as I mentioned earlier, we need some of the dirt out of the stern basement, which is a really weird thing to say, to get it built up to grade. So until we actually start the excavation, we won't finish the entire loop, but we'll probably start it just so we have a place we can do like a three-point turnaround kind of thing. But like I mentioned, we were really happy with the progress. You know, anytime you can get a skid steer out and do work, you just want to keep going. But at some point, you got a budget. You got to stick with that. The rest of this, like I said, we'll try to get cleaned up with the tractor. That'll be it for working on this part of it. The rest of the video, we're going to fly out over the river. I got a beautiful morning flight. The fog was starting to burn off the river. There's a towboat coming out of the fog downriver. It's an absolutely gorgeous flight. You're going to want to stay tuned for that. As always, guys, thanks for watching. We'll catch you on the next one. Be sure to stay tuned for this towboat footage. It's probably the best yet.